I think for Florida State, we talked about it all offseason, guys. They were doing everything right. They build these relationships really nicely, and they
Yep.
do that. They get to that point to where these guys are in their top three. Even they come in second. They came in second place. A lot of these guys, Florida State, coming in second place quite a bit, but all it took was getting some wins, man. If you get wins like this, it's going to translate into commitments. And I think one of these helped a ton with that. And you also see the improvement, I think, too. Don't you think D-Lou was seeing Randy Shane and what he's been able to do with these linebackers? I mean, if you look at Deloach and Tatum Bethune, how they started the season, also with DJ Lundy, you've seen the improvements there also. You see that, you add it on with wins, and you have the relationships there. That those three things start adding up, and kind of made a pretty easy decision, I think, for Blake to go. I mean, it had to be a lot of reasons in order to go from over there. You stay on the West Coast, or you're going to go all the way down here to Tallahassee on the other side of the country and come play. And you got to have a lot of trust there. And I think there's a lot of trust between Derek Ray, Florida State's general manager, like you talked about, Dustin Lewis, and with Norvell, and believing and trusting in that process and what they're trying to build here in Tallahassee. But it wins, man, wins. It's going to help you in a lot of ways. We'll talk about another target here in a minute, but wins. It gets to the point to where you just got to get some wins in the record column, man.
We talked about it all spring and all summer that Florida State or recruits wanted to see Florida State proven on the field because of Mike Norvell's first two off seasons, 2020 and 2021. They did really well on the recruiting trail leading up to the season. I mean, you have to remember you had Luke Altmaier committed. Then the season started. Florida State didn't do so well. It was COVID year, so you couldn't have visits. So he decided to stay home with the safer option in Ole Miss. Last year, you had Trevion Williams, also from the state of Mississippi, Travis Hunter, countless, a couple other guys as well who were committed before the season. You got off to the 0-4 start, got a little shaky, and they jumped off the ship. Well, this time you come out 3-0, and the top targets, Blake Nicholson, Hykeem Williams, DJ Chester, some other guys in that 2023 class. That's exactly what they wanted to see from Florida State because the relationships are there. Florida State, as you said, Logan, they do a really good job when it comes to recruiting. And when they get these guys on campus, a lot of recruits come out very impressed with their experiences at Florida State. So it just takes success on the field as well. The NIL stuff plays a factor now in this day and age. Hopefully they'll redo the law next year or however it works. So that'll be more effective in the state of Florida. But Florida State's doing a good job right now. If they can keep putting wins together, it's going to pay off more in 2024 than 2023. But they're still in line for some really good players to finish this class out.
Yep, you're not wrong. So another one, wrapping up Blake Nicholson here, moving on to even bigger big time name here that Florida State fans know very well, and just because of the relationship that they built here in Tallahassee. Hykeem Williams, 5-star wide receiver in that 2023 class. We've seen him a few times come onto campus. Also, there attend a few of the practices. Just looks like naturally comfortable around the staff right off the bat. Very close connections, wide range across that whole entire staff. But Florida State and the mix here and that top two, in my opinion, but it's going to come down to Florida State, Texas A&M, Miami, Pittsburgh. The commitment's happening on Friday at 2 p.m. They'll be doing a live stream for that also, and we'll have full coverage all around that one too. It could be a big time week for Florida State Seminoles on the recruiting trail. What are you hearing, D-Lou? What are the birds chirping out there whenever you wake up in the morning? What is the cellular device telling you with a few things? Because I think Florida State has put themselves in a great spot. Most recently, if I am correct on this, was at the LSU game.
Yep.
Or am I wrong on that? Okay, so he was at the LSU game. Got to see that win. Obviously, starting the season off 3-0. And I talked about this one for a while now for Hykeem. Win. And then they've done that now. They've done that now. You're still competing with Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M over there, but you've done everything imaginable and the best that you can at your ability to put yourself, if you're advertising to Hykeem Williams saying, man, adding a playmaker to this offense, what could it do? It could be special.
Yeah, if you would have asked me in the spring or early summer about Hykeem Williams before, I was telling people, I was like, I don't think there's any chance that this works out. Florida State's doing a good job, but I don't know that they're actually going to get his commitment. Well, something seemed to change this summer. Obviously, Hykeem Williams, he came by for a multi-day unofficial visit to Tallahassee. Got the chance to check out a couple preseason practices, hang out with the coaching staff, which Ron Dugans, Norvell are two of the guys leading the charge there, and they've both done an exceptional job. Hykeem and Dugans have a really good relationship. So somehow late in the summer, Florida State, the momentum started to go back towards the Seminoles, and that's kind of carried now into the season, at least from what I'm hearing on my side of things. As you said, went to LSU, went to New Orleans, watched Florida State defeat LSU. Then he was on, I believe it was an official visit to, maybe it was an unofficial, either way, a visit to Pittsburgh for their loss to Tennessee, and then this last weekend in Texas A&M to watch the Aggies defeat Miami, which from what I heard, Texas A&M pushed really hard for Hykeem to commit before he left College Station. There was a big meeting with Jimbo Fisher in his office, and they were really trying to get that commitment to shut this down before this week. But Hykeem did not relent. He's going to go ahead and commit on Friday, and at least from my understanding is he's not going to inform any coaching staff of his decision prior to announcing it live. So they're all going to have to tune into the live stream just like us to figure out where he's going. As you said, Logan, I do agree that it's between Florida State and Texas A&M right now. Those are the two schools with the most momentum. Florida State feels really comfortable with where they sit at this point, especially with the relationships that they've developed and the time that they put into this recruitment. And then you look at the offense, they've showed those signs that Hykeem Williams wanted to see. They've won games. The receivers have produced. So FSU has done everything they possibly can to win out here. Me personally, I do have the Seminoles taking it on Friday, but even if Hykeem does commit to Florida State on Friday, this one isn't over. Alabama is still trying to get involved. Texas A&M is supposed to host him later in the season. Florida State will get him back for an official visit in November against UF. And he also, from what I was told, he also might be in Tallahassee on an unofficial visit for the game against Clemson. So, like I said, Florida State has done everything they possibly can to win out with Hykeem Williams, and I think they're going to on Friday. But it could very well change with the way NIL and things are these days when it comes to these elite 5-star prospects. But if Mike Norvell and the Seminoles do pull this off, I would say it's the most impressive commitment that he's gotten so far, especially if they can take it to early signing day and get that signature. Oh, and real quick, true freshman linebacker Omar Graham, we have to mention that relationship as well, because relationships play a big part in this recruitment for Williams. And Florida State has one of his best friends, a former high school teammate, and Omar Graham Jr. right there on the roster. And every time that Hykeem is in Tallahassee, those two are hanging out and chatting it up. So that's another thing that plays in Florida State's favor going into Friday.
Yep, and you stay in state. I understand Miami's in there a little bit, but Florida State's way ahead of them in this recruitment. But you stay in state and you're close with the family, and it's a little bit different than maybe traveling over to Texas A&M. But then again, when you see the money that probably Jimbo and those guys over there are willing to offer, you kind of start forgetting that thing. It gets a little foggy about how far away you're going to be from home. So, I think Florida State's in a good spot here. Dustin's always got the scoop there, has a really good scoop on this recruitment. So we'll keep you guys fully updated on that. I just think, Florida State's put themselves in a great spot. The wins are on the table, and they could use a nice playmaker on the outside. Florida State has missed on 2 of them, and it's, one of them was kind of out of their hands with Destin Hill. I thought that was going to be one of the next best playmakers of, Florida State. Is going to have a solid career. You don't get Destin Hill, and then you also don't get Travis Hunter. 2 names that brutally, it hits hard. Could you imagine you add those 2 onto what you've already had? I won't even bring it up. But just two tough losses. Hykeem could come in and save the day, and you look at a bright future for what that wide receiver room could look like going into next season and what they could do still on the recruiting trail. There was a question here too about Jaylen Brown. That's another recruitment that I don't think is fully over yet on that end. He also got to see Florida State beat LSU over there in New Orleans. But there was a comment on here about if Hykeem Williams ends up committing to Florida State, does this do anything for Jaylen Brown's recruitment in FSU? Because I believe Brown was planning on doing another visit to FSU sometime this season. Or was I hearing different things?
Yeah, I don't know the exact plan on that, but he was at FSU for an unofficial visit in late July. I believe he was at Texas A&M last weekend. So even though he's committed to LSU, he's still looking around a little bit, and it wouldn't surprise me at all with the relationship Florida State has there with not only Brown but also his family as well, for FSU to get an official visit at some point. But we'll just have to see how it shakes out. You know, talent wants to play with talent. So if Florida State is able to get Hykeem into the fold, we'll just have to play it by ear and see how things work out. And, you know, if he's willing to be a big time recruiter for Florida State, which I'm assuming he is when, you know, you look at the kid's personality, but talent wants to play with talent. So Florida State adds Hykeem Williams. There's going to be a couple people that take notice of that for sure.
Yep, you're not wrong. Talent likes to play with talent. And once you start bringing in these cats that are of those ratings, and definitely, if you know, depends on the quarterback situation too, and what the future of Jordan Travis will be. I mean, if he keeps playing like this, there's some opportunities outside of college, but you know, I'm still of the thinking that Jordan Travis needs to have another year. I understand that you could have a nice improvement here in the passing game, et cetera, but I still think J Trav has another season here unless something goes wild. He's had a nice start to the season, but to take it to the league is a little bit different in my opinion. So we'll see what ends up happening for Florida State. Mike Norvell and Ron Dugans on Friday. That will happen at 2:00. We'll have full on coverage for that one. So make sure you guys keep an eye out. We'll probably have a video and everything going on here on the YouTube channel, across Facebook and everything. So make sure you keep your eyes out on that one. Make sure you clear your schedule on Friday afternoon after lunch for Hykeem Williams' commitment. Hey guys, this is Logan. Definitely appreciate you for watching the entire video. If you wouldn't mind, definitely hit that like button down below. Leave a comment on what you thought about the video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't yet either, make sure you're signed up on our Patreon. This is where we're giving our inside news, inside nuggets, recruiting scoop, and so much more daily. You guys can sign up for that at patreon.com/NoleGameday. It's the cheapest option out of any outlet covering Florida State athletics right now at $2.99 a month. I highly suggest going to check it out. Once again, patreon.com/NoleGameday. Come hang out with us and get ready for the season ahead. See you guys there, and thank you for watching.